Right now at 6, another evening of stormy skies and rare sightings of funnel clouds.
What is that?
When we'll get a break from the rain. Plus, the Russian River is notorious for wild weather impacts.
So there's always something crazy happening.
How the community is still building back from a major landslide that sent a house into the river last winter. And San Mateo County's embattled sheriff officially gets the axe.
It's unconstitutional what they're doing to me.
We'll take you inside the tense hearing to formally remove her from office.
So it's tragic to see her time as sheriff come down to this.
And later, housing permits plummet in Silicon Valley. We'll hear from a developer who says it's been expensive to get any traction in the market.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening. Another first alert weather day, and that's thanks to the second round of stormy weather just sweeping through the Bay Area. So let's take a look at our live radar. It's showing the showers, and Paul will be tracking it all for us in just a minute. So we did have a break from the rain for a good part of the day, but you can see the sweeping areas there through the East Bay. And this is certainly a long commute along the 680 corridor there. As you can see, we've had some rain on the windshield in the past few minutes. And then we take you further south, not something we see often in California. Cell phone video shows a funnel cloud that was spotted over the Salinas area this afternoon. The good news, it did not actually touch down and no reports of any damage. And then more rain and wind for the Bay Area as we head into the evening. So I want to bring in Chief Meteorologist Paul Hagan with a look at this system. Paul.
Yeah, funnel clouds, not something we typically associate with California weather, but it's not unheard of. October is actually the rarest month for that to happen. But I want to take a look back at the radar when that funnel cloud was spotted. Directly over Salinas, there is that thunderstorm cell that was tracking through, rotating just enough for that funnel cloud to reach out of the cloud. But it really didn't even show up on the velocity signature on First Alert Doppler. We always look for the red and green side by side to look for areas of rotation. Didn't really see a strong signal towards that, but there's a little spot there over Salinas that indicated that presence of rotation for just a brief moment. Generally, the story has been the return of more showers across the Bay Area. Here's a look at First Alert Doppler. The way things stand right now, the majority of the shower activity is along and north of Interstate 80, but there are some showers over parts of the East Bay and trying to reach down towards the Santa Clara Valley as well. Just scattered activity. This batch of showers is going to slide from north to south across the Bay Area as we head through the rest of tonight. One more round of light shower activity, probably not amounting to much more than 1/10 of an inch of additional rainfall, and it's going to be out of the way as the sun comes up tomorrow morning. So I think a dry commute on Wednesday. Can't rule out the possibility of an isolated leftover sprinkle, but those should be very few and far between. Not going to add up a lot on top of what we already picked up, which has been substantial, especially by October standards. The lowest amount, 1/2 inch of rain in Redwood City. Some of the higher amounts where you would expect in the Santa Cruz Mountains, 2 inches of rain around Ben Lomond, but over 1.5 inches of rain in San Jose. That is not bad at all for this early in the season. The rest of the 7-day forecast looks pretty dry and gradually warmer. We'll take a look at that coming up in just a few minutes.
Paul, thank you. Well, when it's storming the North Bay, neighbors and first responders know to be ready for anything. That includes landslides like this one that sent a house into the Russian River. This was back in February, if you recall. That happened on the outskirts of unincorporated Forestville. That's right in the Russian River Valley in Sonoma County, about 12 miles northwest of Santa Rosa. Our Kenny Choi went back to the scene of that massive slide to see how neighbors are weathering this October storm.
Heavy downpours can act as alarm bells at Russian River Pub to make sure everything is okay. Wendy Neal, the owner of the Cozy Eatery, sent her husband outside to check clogged gutters. The last time the Russian River crested, a massive mudslide took with it an entire house down the river.
Honestly, there's a lot of crazy stuff out here. It's West County, so there's always something crazy happening.
That is so crazy.
Wendy and her husband Ryan Neal captured this video back in February, racing to a spot near their small business.
As soon as I get onto the bridge, a whole bunch of water splashes up over the bridge. So I take a look, like, what is going on? Just see this massive landslide and trees hanging into the water.
After a lengthy closure to address safety concerns along West Side Road, it recently reopened. But county officials are keeping a close eye on this thoroughfare.
West Side Road is only one of the few roads across the county right now that we've had storm impacts from previous storms, both this year, last year, and the year before, that Sonoma County Public Infrastructure has been making emergency repairs on.
With heavy rains falling across Sonoma County, emergency management services are on alert.
Right now, across the county, we're just seeing some down trees, some boulders and rocks and roads, and our public safety and our public works, public infrastructure teams are responding to those.
All that rain is sometimes good for business. For Wendy, her workplace is a community hub in times of emergencies.
This place just gets packed with people. Everyone wants to come. Number one, we have power, so we stay open.
Taking advantage of grants, she added a massive generator after numerous wildfires and floods.
Sometimes the rain will bring them in. I kind of like the rain because then they're in here with me.
Whatever comes next during a storm or fire, Wendy and her team are ready to serve in more ways than one.
For a look at the First Alert forecast anytime, be sure to download the free CBS News app and turn on push alerts for updates. Tonight, San Mateo County is officially without a permanent sheriff. The Board of Supervisors formally voted to remove Christina Corpus after an independent report found she abused her power. Before today's vote, Corpus addressed the board and continued to deny any wrongdoing.
When they couldn't control me, they decided to destroy me. This is not justice. It's political retribution.
It is the culmination of more than a year's worth of investigations, hearings, even a special election to change the county charter. Our Katie Nilsson spoke with Corpus after the final vote.
Corpus was defiant today in her statements to the Board of Supervisors, never speaking directly to the alleged actions that led to her removal from office or offering any accountability for the turmoil this whole process has caused the department.
If I lose my position today, I will walk out with my head held up very high because I never betrayed the people who trusted me.
Former San Mateo County Sheriff Christina Corpus repeated during the Board of Supervisors meeting she had done nothing wrong and certainly didn't deserve to be fired.
I was offered the chance to walk away quietly, to take a payout and disappear. I refused.
Last week, an independent hearing judge ruled Corpus created a conflict of interest by carrying on a close personal relationship with her former chief of staff and pushing him to be promoted to positions he wasn't qualified to hold, as well as retaliating against two other members of the department, one of which was the Deputy Sheriff's Union president, who she ordered to be arrested. He was ultimately never charged with a crime.
I had high hopes for Sheriff Corpus. I voted for her. She had great ideas to modernize the office. So it's tragic to see her time as sheriff come down to this.
After almost a full year of turmoil, it all came down to the Board of Supervisors' vote.
Supervisor Spear?
Aye.
Supervisor Corzo?
Yes.
Supervisor Mueller?
Yes.
Supervisor Gaucher?
Yes.
President Canepa?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
With that, Corpus was fired from her position as sheriff, effective immediately.
I don't regret anything that I've done because I've done nothing wrong. We are going to fight this till the end. It's unconstitutional what they're doing to me.
This department has been in crisis for a long time. And I hope with today, for our sheriff's department, it brings healing, not only to the folks who work there, but to our community.
We will learn from this experience that there has to be very serious oversight of the Sheriff's Department moving forward.
There are rumblings here at the county building that Corpus actually retired after that vote. We talked with Supervisor Canepa. He said that's actually allowed under the charter, but couldn't confirm whether she had gone through with that. Now, as far as the next sheriff, it'll be up to the Board of Supervisors to appoint someone to either finish out the remainder of Corpus's term, which is until 2028, or they can elect to have a special election.
The San Mateo County Deputy Sheriff's Association released this statement saying, quote, "We are grateful to the voters of this county who have supported us this entire time, along with the numerous city and county elected officials who have spoken out against misconduct and in support of our members." All right, still ahead here at 6, housing construction slowing to a crawl in South Bay. Why one local developer is throwing the blame on elected officials.
I know they say they want
more housing.
Yeah.
Are they really acting like they want more housing?
No.
Plus, we'll take you to the picket lines for what's being billed as the largest strike in Kaiser's history. It's no secret the Bay Area is struggling with an unprecedented housing crisis. So you'd think there would be a huge effort to encourage construction. But at least in Silicon Valley, the data shows the opposite is happening. In fact, for the past 5 years, construction in and around San Jose has declined more than anywhere else in the country. And according to a report by Home Abroad, Silicon Valley approved about 1,300 fewer home building permits this year than they did in 2020. So what's going on here? Well, one local developer says the Valley's steep decline in housing development is no accident. Our John Ramos heard the explanation.
Elected officials often talk about the need to build more housing in a big way, but that's not really happening here in San Jose. And one local developer says their actions are speaking a lot louder than their words. If there is one number that best defines an area's home construction rate, it is the number of home building permits being issued. And in Silicon Valley, it's been dropping like a rock. A group called Home Abroad just released a report saying the average number of permits declined by 32% in large cities. But leading this dubious list is the San Jose, Sunnyvale, Santa Clara area, where the permits dropped by a whopping 68% from 5 years ago.
I wish I could say it surprised me, but it does not at all.
Eric Shore leads a local housing advocacy group. He says it all boils down to how expensive it is to build in the area, from land costs to interest rates to manpower shortages. But those are universal problems. So why was Miami able to increase construction by 160% in the same time period? Shore thinks it has to do with local government. I know they say they want more housing.
Yeah.
Are they really acting like they want more housing?
No, not with the urgency they need. No. No, because they're not getting the results. When you focus on outcomes first and then you think about process later, it's a whole different way of running a government than if you focus on process and see if you might reach the outcomes.
Cities like San Jose impose various impact and affordable housing fees on builders that can run anywhere from $50,000 to $120,000 per unit. And one local developer is very familiar with them. Eric Hayden's company, Urban Catalyst, just broke ground on a new 278-unit complex on San Carlos Street. But he says that's become a pretty rare occurrence of late.
If the fees are higher, which they are, significantly higher here than other places, and construction costs are higher, that just means that there's less deals available. And so all of those things make it so that between June of 2022 and about 4 months ago, we saw 0 multifamily starts in Silicon Valley. Not a single market rate apartment building started construction.
And Hayden doesn't think it's an accident.
Cities don't want housing. In fact, cities hate housing. Housing does not generate revenue that goes towards their general fund the same way that retail, office, industrial does.
He says unless a project contains at least 65 units per acre, it becomes an economic liability to city budgets. And with the inevitable neighborhood outcry over high-density housing, Hayden says there is no real incentive for elected officials to embrace, much less encourage, new construction.
They think of it like, what's going to get me reelected? Not approving housing. That's one thing, right? So I can not approve housing. What else can I do? I can make it so that we have higher fees so less housing happens. And then I can say that we're going to generate more revenue for below market rate housing. And look, we're building more below market rate housing than ever. Yay, reelect me.
It's important to remember that except in rare occurrences, government does not build housing. That's done by developers and only when it makes economic sense. There are plenty of market factors that may be an impediment to that, but it looks like Silicon Valley leads the nation in a lack of interest in building homes.
No one with the city of San Jose was available to speak with us today. All right, it's nearing the end of day 1 of the strike at Kaiser hospitals across the state, but this is just the beginning. Thousands of healthcare workers plan to hit the picket lines every day through Saturday. So this is a look at the strike in Santa Clara today. These workers marched with signs. They're demanding more money and better staffing. Brian Nitta is a physical therapist at Kaiser, and he told us things have gotten worse after the pandemic.
We definitely have had a shortage. We've had a huge turnover in that time frame, and it presents so many challenges. We want to engage in a conversation with our management partners to partnership together. Their problem is our problem is their problem.
So Kaiser issued a statement refuting these claims and saying they've worked to reach an agreement since May. The healthcare organization wrote in part, quote, "A strike is unnecessary when a generous offer is on the table. It is designed to disrupt the lives of our patients, the very people we are all here to serve." Meantime, Stanford Children's Hospital is laying off dozens of employees. A hospital official confirmed they're eliminating 87 positions, around 1% of its workforce. The hospital is also offering early retirement to other employees. The hospital cited economic uncertainty for these layoffs. The affected employees will remain on payroll with benefits for 60 days. All right, coming up, we promise there are clearer skies ahead. Really, Paul promises it. He'll be back with the timing and when we could be looking at the next round of rain. Promise. A look now at some early snowfall up in the Sierra to remind us that winter is just around the corner. Yes, this is Donner Summit, where a nice dusting of snow has covered the mountaintops. So far, no chain control requirements for drivers on Interstate 80. However, chains are required on Highway 50 near South Lake Tahoe. Here's why. Where snowfall has made the roads much more slippery. Anytime I see this video, I always think, oh, it'd be so fun to go up there.
Why am I
over the
here?
weekend.
Should go up there.
Why am I here? No.
Yeah.
Okay, so earlier in the tease, we promised clearer skies, even though we showed snow. So we have to make good on this promise?
Yes, we should have clearer skies by Thursday. We'll see some sunshine tomorrow mixed with clouds, but then a lot of sunshine by Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even through the rest of the weekend.
You promise. Okay. And
I do.
And then get ready for what's ahead next.
Oh, deep breath. Let's see if we can deliver on that. Let's talk about the snow in the Sierra first. Still winter storm warnings in effect in the pink shaded areas, winter weather advisories at lake level and then over into Nevada. And the winter weather advisory, another couple inches of snow, higher elevations. They're going to pick up a total of close to 2 feet on some of the highest peaks. The whole storm system, though, is going to push farther and farther to the east and lose its influence over us over the next 24 hours. Let's look at the satellite perspective over the last 6 hours, and it's still a powerful storm system that's just swirling away. The heart of it is almost directly over the Bay Area right now, so it's able to squeeze the atmosphere, send a little bit more moisture towards us before it makes that progress farther off to the east and just gets on out of here, allowing our weather to dry out as we head through the next few days. Let's take a look at First Alert Doppler and track the rain that's out there at the moment. The majority of it is over at the North Bay, but there are some scattered showers elsewhere. This batch of rain over the North Bay is going to get dragged to the south across the rest of the Bay Area as the storm system kind of pulls it along. This is light rain shower activity, not going to cause any new flooding problems. It's not going to exacerbate any of yesterday's existing flooding problems. But let's take a look at Futurecast first through midnight. It's got a pretty good handle on where the showers are right now. That activity will continue this evening into early tonight, BC gradually making more southward progress. And then we wind the clock forward from midnight through early tomorrow morning. And the rain largely gets out of here. Maybe a couple patches of drizzle left over for the very early commuters, but I don't think you're going to have to fiddle with the windshield wipers on the way to work on Wednesday. In terms of clearing skies, though, that's going to take a little bit longer. We'll see a significant amount of sunshine until we get into the weekend, or the end of the week, and then the upcoming weekend. How much additional rain are we talking about? It's going to be modest. 1/10 of an inch on the high end of the spectrum. That's about it. A few hundredths of an inch of rain on top of the anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches plus of rain that we've added up with the system already. So just a little bit more on top of it, help to build up a little surplus that we're running this far into the water year. Looking outside right now, see plenty of clouds in the distance from Salesforce Tower. Temperatures are chilly across the board. Everybody in the mid to upper 50s to near 60 degrees. We'll drop down to the low 50s later on tonight. High temperatures tomorrow aren't going to warm up a whole lot, but it is going to dry out. So better dog walking weather in store for us tomorrow. This is our adoptable dog of the day, Billy, who is available from Lily's Legacy Rescue in Petaluma. Temperatures should make it up into at least the lower half of the 60s, but your furry friends are certainly not going to mind the cool temperatures or the cloud cover because they're not going to overheat. You're not wearing a fur coat. They have to deal with that. Let's take a look at the 7-day. We'll look at the 7-day forecast in a second. First, let's check out tomorrow's high temperatures, the entire map here. And we're going to be in the 60s pretty much area-wide once again. Maybe a little warmer than today, mid to upper 60s in the Santa Clara Valley. East of the Oakland Hills, mostly in the middle portion of the 60s. Same thing around the bay. Low 60s at the coast, and the North Bay warming up a little bit more with some sunshine peeking through up into the mostly mid 60s tomorrow afternoon. In terms of more significant warming, you have to wait till the end of the work week. Back to the upper 70s inland on Friday, one day in the low 80s for some of the warmest spots. And then we drop back again by Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Temperatures running a few degrees below average for the upcoming weekend, but should be pleasantly cool with a mix of clouds and sunshine Sunday and Monday. The long-range data yesterday was hinting at maybe a shower chance Sunday night and a Monday, but those chances were already lower than 20%, and they've continued to decrease. I don't think we're going to see any additional rain once tonight's showers move out by the time the sun comes up tomorrow morning. So a dry forecast taking hold for the rest of the 7-day outlook. We'll just keep looking at that long-range data and hunting for the next chance of rain to eventually head our way.
Okay, Paul, thank you. And when we come back, why naturalists are so excited about this simple yellow flower spotted in the East Bay. All right, so we want to show you something. Check this out. It's a rare yellow plant. It's been rediscovered in the East Bay after 68 years. It's called, and I hope I don't butcher this, you can send me notes if I did. It's the caper-fruited Truppidicarpum, okay? It is native to the Bay Area and California. Two botanists found the plant at Vasco Hills Regional Preserve in Contra Costa County. It was first discovered by a UC Berkeley botany professor in 1888. The plant is listed as rare, threatened, or endangered in the state by the California Native Plant Society. The species has been documented in several counties. Guess what? Do not pick it, please. Just let it stay there. CBS 80 News is next. See ya.